Hello and welcome everyone, and we're back for another chapter review of Undead Unluck. We're on chapter 197. It's titled Ready. I thought this chapter would probably be titled Go, because it's on your mark, get set, go. But I guess it was on your mark, ready, set, go. But get set was last chapter, so the ready, set is kind of in the wrong way around. I don't know if it's a Japanese thing. Maybe he just actually doesn't know the right order to do it. He is a manga, not an actual sports athlete. But I guess he would do his research on that just to make sure his chapter titles are right. Maybe he just got it the wrong way around. He meant to put ready last chapter and it was supposed to be this chapter. I have no idea, but it's just a chapter title. It doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Yeah, so this chapter doesn't go into a flashback like I thought it would last chapter. Yeah, I guess the flashback between Haruka and Top are over. Well, I guess there's not really that much we need to know about their past anymore. So yeah, those flashbacks are just over now. The chapter does start off with a little recap over what we had last time in the last chapter with Fuuko seeing those spirits, I'm just going to call them now, saying that they're glad they picked her and that her luck is coming. And we see the meteorite hitting that huge whale again. The whale fall behind Beast, and he's still there looking a bit shell shocked. And he gives us a bit of an explanation on what Fuuko did in the last chapter. You could probably guess from just seeing what happened last chapter, but yeah, she cut a piece of her soul off and shot it at the whale and imbued it with her unluck so that the unluck would hit. So that's how she was able to get around the restriction of her having to be fond of the person for the unluck to hit. If she just imbues it within her own soul and then shoots that piece of her soul out, then yep, that unluck is going to hit no matter what. Well, not completely no matter what, it still has to hit the target as we'll see later on in this chapter. Beast again makes the comment like in last chapter that Fuuko's caught on to them and Fuuko's still like not fully aware of what he means. She just repeats them back at him. Beast goes on to mention that's why Unjusted entrusted her, Fuuko, with the loop, because it's something Juiz of the last loop and Undead could never achieve. The splitting part of their soul, I guess. Because I guess even with Andy, he doesn't actually like split off a part of his soul, or he might be talking about being able to get a connection with them, those people that Fuuko could see. Maybe that's what she means, because Andy at the moment he's using all those funky soul powers. He even did the soul road, and I assume that would be emitting a bit of his soul out and cutting a bit of his soul off. So I think he might be talking about getting that connection to them, as he puts it. Yeah, but now that Fuuko has achieved the state, Beast says, okay, playtime's over, and he goes into his Beast phase 3 form, and Fuuko goes on to give us a little explanation about, yeah, the phases of the different Umas. It's not all Umas, I guess, because she, like, says he can do it too, can get into this phase 3, but I'd assume all the Master Rules could probably get into a phase 3. She makes mention that his abilities are gonna expand again. Beast then calls out to all the beasts who once ruled the world, be revived basically, and he starts reviving the dinosaurs and like all these ancient organisms, I guess, and they've all got unbreakable armor on them as well. Julia starts to say that it must be the same trick then basically, so he just created some overpowered life forms. All we need to do is get the soul threads and cut them, but she makes mention that they can't see any soul threads anywhere. Also, something seems to enter Fuuko. That sounds a bit wrong, but I mean, just like soul wise, I think it was that piece of her soul she broke off. I'm assuming like you can't just break off a piece of your soul and it just out there in the ethereal plane. I guess it just comes back to her. That's what I'm assuming that is, whatever came and entered her. But anyway, Fuuko like has a realization and she says to Haruka, the reason you're with us, she finally realizes the purpose of her on this quest. Beast makes mention that the Nimbus they're on is getting awfully small and that they should just give up. I find this a little interesting bit of lore on the Nimbus, I guess. It does have like a stamina reserve, so they can't just fly it infinitely. We then see Top taking off. He's basically running on water, I think. He's just that fast, with Haruka on the back of him. I guess Beast is realizing kind of what their strategy is. He's saying they're pretending to run away just so they can counter-attack again, and he calls it pretty uninventive. Then we see Fuuko fire off some soul bullets at Beast. Yeah, so it looks like she's mastered this technique in quite a short time. However, these soul bullets can't reach Beast because there's all these other ancient beasts flying around him, taking those soul bullets for him, and they just take the full brunt of some lightning, I guess. And yeah, with the unbreakable armor, they're pretty much indestructible. Beast tells them they gotta get rid of these other beasts to be able to even hunt him down. Fuuko just tells him he knows nothing of the strength of the human soul. We then quickly go back to Fuuko explaining the plan to Haruka before she and Top runs off the Nimbus. Fuuko goes on to reveal to us that negators aren't chosen by God like she initially thought, and that negators are chosen by the previous generation of negators. She goes on to explain that if you go by the hypothesis of God randomly choosing negators, that there are two facts that contradict this theory, and one of them is the fact that in the previous loop, when Shen died, Untruth moved to Mui, and the fact that Haruka's generation, her lineage, always have the unbreakable powers. So if it was at random, why would God give unbreakable to the same lineage, and why would he give it to Mui after Shen died? Shen chose Mui to get Untruth, so that makes that previous whole loop, that whole scene back in the day, less ass pully now. There's actually a real reason towards it, and so those people that Fuuko saw before were the previous users of Unluck. I do have a question though. There was that old man who had Unavoidable before Void. Did he know Void, or do they have a index of people when they died? He was and it's you can choose who your negation ability goes to, or if they don't decide anyone, that is then just random. I wonder if that will get explained. Fuuko goes on to say that since your clan has accomplished this feat of passing down Unbreakable, she's certain that Haruka should be able to access the souls of her previous clan members to get help in order to find a better version of Unbreakable. And as Haruka and Top are running away, we see soul energy forming around Haruka as she starts to focus, and she achieves it. She gets there. She sees her granddad and her previous clan members, I would assume. And one thing to note is, in the soul plane, Haruka's not as buff as she is in a physical body, and her granddad Ishin notes on this. He says, based on the appearance of your soul, your heart has much more maturing to do. Which makes sense since she is so timid and shy, but her physical body's pretty tough. Her body doesn't truly reflect her soul. So Ishin asks her, you're here to learn a form of Unbreakable that can defeat their opponent Beast, aren't you? But Haruka's just crying and saying even her Unbreakable with Top's ability wasn't able to defeat Beast, and that she is unworthy to have the title of Ishin, that she's not ready. Her grandfather just says to her, that might have been true if you were all alone, but she has them with her previous ancestors. And he tells her that Ishin Unbreakable wasn't developed in a single generation. They're not beasts, they're humans. Speaking to the nature of humankind, that it doesn't take a single moment to reach our pinnacle. We can progress and help the next generation on and get even better. And he also says, so use the power of those who never merely live and die, the power of the human soul. And whilst he's saying this, whilst this narration is going on, we see Fuuko landing I guess it's another soul bullet into one of the flying dinosaurs. I was never really that into paleontology. I don't know all the dinosaur names. Is it a pterodactyl? Was the flying one? But I don't know if this is specifically a pterodactyl. But yeah, whatever it is, Fuuko's loading a soul bullet into it. Beast goes on to say, I told you, it's useless. Your Unluck's not going to do anything to this Unbreakable armor, and that adding Unbreakable to this quest was the wrong decision. It was a bad move. But Fuuko just tell him, nah fam, you're the one that's mistaken here, bruh. It was a great move, and you're about to see why. On the next and final page of the chapter is Top coming in, fully armored up. Unbreakable 12-layered robe runner regalia, which is an interesting name for this armor because, as a quick little Google search tells me, a regalia is for noble wearing and stuff, and not really battle orientated. But I guess it's to give off a regal look, and it's not an exact translation. I guess it's from Japanese to English, so it's the most fitting translation, I guess. Better than just saying armor. But anyway, Top lands a fat dynamic entry, Guy Sensei style, on one of these flying dinosaurs, and yeah, it breaks their unbreakable armor. And Fuuko just gives the orders to use that Unbreakable that he has now to beat Beast Unbreakable. And Top says, no need to tell me twice, basically. Time to kick it into top gear. And that is where the chapter ends off. And so I just want to make a quick little thing, because I remember I was talking about the chapter in the past that Haruka just got her Unbreakable armor teleported onto her. But I guess that's just the ability of Unbreakable. You can just create Unbreakable stuff just immediately out of thin air, I guess. Yeah, I didn't know. I guess we just have to. We don't really see the ability that often because where would I always just thought they would actually craft stuff, just actually using like blacksmithing techniques. They pour their soul into it and make it unbreakable, like the katana and stuff. So I don't know if they just magically just whoop and had the katana, but yeah, I don't know. Or they just transform stuff into unbreakable. So Top's normal clothes, she just touches it and it transforms into unbreakable armor or something like that. So like her armor just like she just transfers a tan top into unbreakable armor. I have no idea. But yeah, that is the end of the chapter. Very interesting one. We seem to just be keep getting more and more lore each and every one of these chapters. I guess we're getting kind of somewhere close to the end goal of the chapters. We just got these master rules and gods left as the opponents, I'm assuming. But yeah, we find out what those who those people were. So I'm pretty sure we hadn't seen them before. I was unsure from last chapter if we'd seen them before or not. But yeah, I guess we haven't. Those are the previous negators of Unluck. That's a whole new dynamic we've learned of for the negation abilities. I guess for the other negators, they should be able to, with some training, tap into their previous negators and yeah, learn some stuff, get some power ups. And yeah, I guess those power ups will be crucial to be able to take down those master rules. So we finally have a clear path to victory against these master rules. And I guess unfortunately for Andy, he doesn't have any previous users of the ability. I guess Victor's is like his only one. But anyway, that is all from me for the chapter review. Thank you for watching if you made it all the way here. I'll see you later.